Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I just noticed this screw is hanging out. Not sure where that goes, or what's going on there, but I'm going to take this whole grille out so that I can get to this guy. So, in order to do this, looks like we've got a few screws here. Alright, so once that's loosened up, there's several screws to loosen. I'm not quite sure why this one was in here. I didn't see any reason for it. However, until I removed it, this was kind of stuck in there, which sort of doesn't make any sense to me, but I'll look deeper into that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently remove this light. So this car has the amber light and the clear lens, and so here's our problem. This tab is busted off, which keeps this lens from attaching or mounting, it looks like. So looks like it was a tab that must have gone back some. So I'm gonna see if there's an easy fix that I can do for this. Maybe I can 3D print a part or something that will help me with that. I don't know. If we take the light out, and let me get this trash out of my space here, and look at it, it looks like it's in decent shape. Looks like a piece is missing right here. That should be closed like this one. So there's a problem there, but that's minor. I mean, that's almost negligible, really. That's not going to cause us any problems. This lens piece is in good shape. I suspect that it's the original one. I went ahead and washed it. Not much cleaning really can be done on these, I guess. I mean, I could polish it, but this is not a show car. This is a driving car. So anyway, this lens is not looking very good, right? I mean, it's pretty gross, but whatever. It's fully functional. It's in a place on the car where rocks and dirt and chunks of road debris will potentially strike it. And so I'm not worried about this being beautiful. Although I am worried about it being beautiful to a certain extent, right? If it had a crack across it, or if it was hazed or looked like crap, I would replace it. But it looks fine. So we're going to put that aside, and then we're going to look at this grill piece and see if we can't figure out what the problems are here. Well, it's pretty obvious, actually. If you look at this corner here, let's put this back here. So we can see where this is supposed to mount. There's a mount point, there's a mount point here, which goes to this one. And then there's the mount point right there, which goes to this mount point, which you may say, wait, Anna, there's no mount point there. And you're right, there's no mount point there. That mount point has completely broken away. So what to do? Now, the previous owner had kind of made a pretty decent enough attempt to get that to function as a mounting point for that screw, but I think I'm going to try a different approach, considering that this grill, which I believe you can get these for about $50 online. I think that's what they were. I want to say this whole assembly is about $70 worth of parts if you want to buy it new. I may be lowballing that pretty significantly, though. So since this grill piece is not in the best of condition, it's broken in two pretty critical points, it does have all of its mounting points intact, which is great. I still haven't figured out what that extra screw was for, by the way. It did not go through this piece. It just went through and seemed to do nothing. So with that said, let's take a look at how this light attaches to this thing. What I have discovered, so if you put this in here and try to line these lines up, it can be kind of frustrating, I guess, without having these mounting points, right? But I discovered something about this setup. So underneath this edge, if you can see this lip, there is a lip right here. There's a little lip right across this edge. And that is where this line edge goes. So if we line that up and slide that up so that that edge sits right inside the lip, and then pull it at the bottom forward, as you can see, we get nicely lined up lens. That looks good. So that is, in my opinion, the way to do it. Line it up here first, and then everything else will line up. So as you can see, there's nothing to bolt onto here, and I've got nothing to bolt onto here either. So what to do? How to get this to stay on without just wrapping baling wire all around it. I would never do that, by the way. Okay, so I've made sure that this is in position, and I'm holding it firmly, and I have selected 2 screws. I have some options here. I gotta use screws that have grip and bite in them. It would not be a bad idea to use maybe sheet metal screws that have a cutting edge on them so that it would sort of self-tap. But the smallest screws I have are these 2 little guys. So I'm going to start with them. Obviously, I have some larger screws, and then I have some other various flavors of screw. I think there are some self-tapping screws in there, but they are larger in diameter than these 2. And I want to try to keep my head size and screw size overall as small as possible so that I don't run into any clearance issues when I go to put this back in the car. I just want to be able to secure this so that this will remain in position. So without further ado, let's get to drilling a couple of holes. So I think about right here is a good spot. Okay, there's one. And we'll go about here. Alright, really important that you don't let this move. And usually when I drill more than one hole in a thing like this, I will typically mount the first screw and then drill the rest of the holes. That way I know for sure that these 2 pieces wouldn't move in relation to each other. But as far as this goes, I'm not too concerned with that at the moment. Okay, so now you can see we've got 2 tiny holes there, and oh boy. Well, see, screwed that up. So that's one of the good things about using a small drill is that. So obviously that either wasn't in position or, yeah, that's weird. All right. Is that really where that went? Yep. So, as you can see, learn from my mistakes here. That hole, this side doesn't line up. So, this side is probably close enough. Kind of disappointing that that side is not. So let's see if we can at least, now if I try to screw the screw in that hole, it is not going to. All right. Hey, well, I'm pleased with how that turned out. So first of all, the first thing I needed to do was this hole here was just too far towards the front. So I needed to drill the hole further back, and that gave me about 1/4 of an inch of material in this piece to drill a hole into. And this hole was close enough that it was fine. And these screws are so snugly fit into that I'm not going to worry about putting any sealer or anything on it. This is really tight now and nice and snug. So let's get this back here and get a little bit better view on there. So as you can see, now of course we have 2 screws on the top of that. You can't even see them in the front except for this spot where I sort of screwed things up. But, you know, I'm not going to remember that in a few days, so I'm not worried about it. I used the smallest screws that I could, and they screw really nicely right into this. What you need to do if you're going to do this is just make sure that the diameter of your bit is the diameter of the shaft of the screw. So what I mean by that is you've got basically, imagine the threads are not on here, right? And there's basically a shaft with no threads, and the inner diameter or the outer diameter of that shaft is narrower than the outermost part of the threads. You know what I'm saying. So you want to make sure that your drill bit is the size of the shaft of the bolt or screw, not the size of the threads. If you make it the size of the threads, you won't have any, thing to grip onto when you screw the screw in. So you got to make sure that you have a bit. This one is not the same size, right? I mean, these actually, that's pretty close. That's pretty close, really, right there. So that way, that's important for 2 reasons. The first reason is that when you screw into plastic, especially with plastic, you do not want to expand the plastic by basically making the screw into a wedge. So if the hole that you've drilled is too small, if it's smaller than the diameter of the bolt part of the screw, then what's going to happen is it's going to act like a wedge, and it's going to split apart your plastic. So you got to be careful. Make it as close to the right bolt size or screw size. That's all. I hope that makes sense. So now that I've got this very secure, really, I mean, that's really nice. It's not going to go anywhere. I am going to go ahead and put the bolt screw melange that the previous owner had in this part, just to keep this bottom side from rattling around. As you can see, it's not attached at the bottom. So I'm going to grab those parts and we'll put those back in, because they actually seem to grab okay. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, so we'll see if we can do that. As you can see, I just drilled a little hole through here to there, and I used the same screw as I used in these 2 holes, which was part of my screw collection. Those are all screwed together. This is now very securely attached to the grill, and I don't need to worry about those mounts anymore. That is pretty much ready to go. We are all nicely lined up here. These are about as lined up as they are ever going to get. And when that is mounted back in the car, so this is the standard 1976 grille. My car was, however, built in December of 1975. That will take care of that problem, and we'll go put this back in the car, and she'll be good to go for probably for the rest of the life of the car, as far as I'm concerned, anyway. So that takes care of that. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at the new headlight actuators, because those will be going in next. And next week's show will be all about how to install those. All right, so what I have here is the box that just came about 5 minutes ago from UPS. It is a box sent by Headlight Motorworks is the company. I have already opened the two top flaps, but I have not yet opened the box itself. The reason I did this was because I just don't want you to see my address. So this is what we're gonna get when we order the Headlight Actuator system. Sweet. So the first thing I see, aside from some nice bubble wrap, is a very nicely wrapped installation steps for the 68 to 82 headlight motor upgrade kit. That is that. That looks good. And next we have some stuff. So what do we have here? This is the controller. That looks really nicely made, actually. So that's really cool. So this controller, what I assume that this does, now I'm not sure how this works yet, but my guess is that it's pretty simple. This probably takes as an input signal the 12-volt signal coming from the headlight switch to the headlights and converts that then into enough signal to raise and lower the motors. So that's pretty much what you're paying for. Well, that's a great deal of what you're paying for in this kit, I should say. Here we have very nicely packaged parts for everything you need to get the actuators installed. And let's see what else we have. We have a lot of plastic baggery, and inside this plastic, which is also very well sealed, as you can see, are the actual motors for actuating, or the actual electric actuators, I should say. Actual. It's actual actuation. All right, so that is the kit, and I'm extremely excited about putting this in. I will be making a video walking you through all the steps that you need to know in order to install these headlight actuators. I will post that next week after Christmas. So that's all for this week. Tune in next week when I will post the video about how to install these bad boys. And until then, I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or whatever it is that you celebrate this time of year. Me, I celebrate the fact that I don't have to work for a week or so. Right now, I am celebrating that I don't have to work at all. I'm not retired. I am working, obviously. I'm working on my car, and that is work of some sort, but I do other things that I consider work, like that. But I am not currently employed and gainfully so. So, if you can find it in your heart to throw a couple of bucks to my Patreon account, that'd be great. If not, I understand. Times are tough for everybody. I am certainly not out to, wrangle your cash from your from your wallet or your purse. That's not why I'm doing this channel. I do this just because I enjoy working on my car and I like sharing, and I come from a family of teachers, and I have taught myself. I have myself taught. I have also taught. I have taught in the past in different ways. So, what does that mean? I don't know. I look horrible right now. Kind of haven't really gotten ready to do much today. I'm still in my jammies. So, anyhow, I hope that you're getting a lot of work done on your car, and that your life is going great. And I hope that for myself too. Right now, I'm probably going to go outside and start taking the headlights out of it. Yay! So, obviously I haven't moved yet. And I'm reading through the installation instructions, and it's pretty interesting because it says, first step is to remove the hood, which I don't like the idea of doing that. I don't want to do that at all if I can help it. So I'm going to try to do this without doing so. But it also says to remove the 2 front turn signal front grills. So that's good to know because I was about to go put that one back in there. So I will just go ahead and pull the other front grill out now. And that way, if there's anything wrong with it, I will have a chance to fix it and fix that driver's side turn signal light before I put that all back together. Or towards the back of the car. Remove small vacuum, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of stuff here. I don't need to read this one here. Okay, so, well, I just wanted to show you guys this the driver's side grill and let you know that it's in great shape. There's just one little spot where it's kind of broken right there, so this comes apart, but everything else is good. As you can see, this is what these little clip or mount points should look like. That's the one on that corner, and then this one is that one. So to replace those or something would be rather challenging. This is the other lens, and it is looking pretty good. It, I believe, is probably original, and I think that one has been replaced at some point. And the reason I say that is because if you look at these together, these are not designed to stand up on their own. You see that this one looks a little bit cleaner and newer than that one. So this one could have been in the sun, maybe, who knows, whatever. I don't know. Could be. It is what it is, right? Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. They are functional and, you know, so it's all good. Anyway, I just wanted to give you that update. I will be posting this tonight. It's kind of late, sort of a late video. And I hope that I think I can do one more video this year if I post it next week, but I don't know. I can't remember. I don't even know. Tell you what, you know, with COVID and not having a job and working from home and all that jazz, I don't even know what, aside from it being Tuesday and the 22nd, I have no idea what, when, where, why, how, anything. It's just like, I feel like so discombobulated lately because of, you know, not working and all that jazz. Or I should say more not having a steady schedule, but I kind of like just flying by the seat of my pants right now. It's kind of fun. Anyway, I hope you have great holidays and get lots done on your Corvette and share the link. If you post videos or pictures of your car, I would love to see it. So please feel free to share those links in the comments below. I'm okay with that. As long as, you know, it's all good stuff, I think we're good, right? I mean, yeah. So anyway, have a great one, and I will see you next week with a video on how to install electric headlight actuators. Finally, right? Yay! Okay, bye.